The Apple Store question, which I will come back to in more detail later, but is that more or less a done deal now that you will be able to get Apple stores into the country?
It's not a done deal yet. We have applied for the right to do that, and we're working closely with the government, and I'm really optimistic about it. But we have not been given the green light yet.
The problem is really this: when you're trying to sell an iPhone in India and somebody picks up that phone, it's expensive. Even in dollar terms, it's expensive because you have taxes in India. And then you don't necessarily have all of the functionality that you would in the US. So you've got an iPhone here, which is more expensive than it is in the US, with less functionality than it would have in the US, and in a country where purchasing power is a fraction of what it is in the US. And that sets up a problem for you in being able to scale it.
Yeah, the challenge there is the duties and the taxes and the sort of the compounding of those. It takes a price and it makes it very high. Our profitability is less in India, materially less, but still I recognize the prices are high. We want to do things that lower that over time to the degree that we can, and so we're looking at a number of different things. What we wouldn't do is lower our quality bar. And so we're only going to make a product that we think is a great product. And that means that we're not going to compete in some of the other price bands. And I don't think that's what people want from Apple, though. We've never been about making the most.
Yeah, you could either have make that user experience perfect or then compete on prices. And the problem with competing on prices, of course, is your profit margins start to erode further. And that must be what a lot of people are asking you. Yes. Could you ever come in and compete with Android phones at the 12,000 rupees or 15,000 rupee price point?
Again, we're about making the best, and that doesn't mean that means that we're not going to play in some of these other price points. We would never make a product that we're not proud of, and so I don't want to be in those markets. I don't have a desire to be in those. But what I want is I want really the consumer in India to be able to buy at a price that looks like the U.S. price. That would be my objective. And I want the user experience to have all the services.
Right.
And I want to make sure that if there's something very unique in the country, that I've realized that and thought through that in the product.
Right. So,
and the user experience.